Newman and Koller on the far end, near end here. Newman and Tereschenko. Dry uses the old drive drop combo like that. I see some dinking towards inside feet. Testing. Oh, Rye's like, you know what? I've seen that one too many times. Okay, I'm gonna slow this down here. Okay, so drive, which produces, and K-Mac, tell me, after watching countless matches over the weekend, what percentage of, let's say, what percentage of fourth balls off a drive get past the half court zone? Tell me that. Like, how often is the drive drop combo used? Because the returners can't put the stinking fourth ball past the half court zone or past the transition zone, so it enhances the server's drop. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say definitely over 50%, probably well over 50%. And this is the pro level, right? So if you're an amateur player, watch what these guys do by driving, big enough target on the drive, kind of stopping, getting balanced, and then using that next one to drop and get in. It can really be a superior way to neutralize that advantage. It's hard if you've got good form on your volleys to be able to punch and generate enough power to get good depth. When players start taking swings to get good depth, now they take a lot more risk of just missing the volley at all. So very high level, smart tactical play by Mr. Newman here.
And K-Mac, you like the approach here? Rise, taking the third ball off his back foot, back behind the baseline. Use that as a combo, right? Obviously, if it's a shorter return, he's moving through it, he's inside the court, he should be looking to kind of close and make himself big off of that, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Again, you hit the nail on the head. You want to base that decision if you're going to drive and just close in immediately or drive and wait more than anything off of where you're contacting the ball. So he's well behind the baseline or near that baseline when he's hitting the drive. A little too bold for most people to drive and just close right in. Using that drive drop combo is the safer and higher percentage play here. Okay,
let's check out our dinking point. So girls are working it. Gives Linz a little bait. Linz may have went to the wrong spot. That's something you have to ask yourself. If you sped up and that sucker came screaming back in a hurry, you got to ask yourself, did I go to the wrong spot? Is there a tattoo on my forehead that says I gave it away? Or simply, is their hands just better than mine?
And this is what's so tough about playing, elite counterpunchers is this is the right attack, in my opinion. It's that yellow zone ball. He can go, but with Riley, there's not a lot of available spots that are going to bother him. I think, in my opinion, you played him a lot more than me, Tyson, but I think if you are going to attack a yellow zone ball, maybe hitting his left hip and kind of, between zones 1 and 2, between that two-hander and his pancake coming all the way over, but going at the normal location, which would be that right hip or right shoulder against Riley is a really, really tough proposition.
Quacking duck, very much so. And hey, what was Rye's tip to you? Give yourself a little time, right? Look what here.
Hey, yeah.
I mean, he's a
little bit off the line.
He's a man of his word here, K-Mac. Take a look. Slid back, bought himself a little time.
Look,
and here comes that pancake.
Practice is what he preaches. Hey. Point over.
I had to bring that up. Okay, here we go.
I know.
Okay. Looks like Rye's adding a bit more height with that drop. Got pulled out of position. And females are back to doing their thing. Ooh. Okay, she's playing some good D. Probably shouldn't have swung there. Got herself a Rye. Got him out of trouble. What in the heck is going on here? It's chaos.
It's a zoo.
It's a complete zoo. Lindsey, that ball is above your waist.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. Talk about somebody who is so selective with her offense. I played her in mix this last weekend, and when we literally gave her so many bait balls, and she refused to pull the trigger. So disciplined. Beyond discipline. Okay, here. Take a look.
Yeah, almost too disciplined maybe.
All right, so Rye, I like this shot selection too. I'm rewind here. So Rise, deeper return, pushes him back. The returners definitely get a gain by getting some depth on the return. Rye chooses to probably go with like an 80% lift to 20% push here. So viewers and guests out there, just add more lift, obviously, on your drop if you're being pulled out of position. Kind of bank on cleaning up with your next ball. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. AJ takes that puppy up the bounce, slides over. Same thing. Looks like Irina's kind of picking on that inside foot. talked a lot about that area. There's a big old gray tunnel on that righty's inside foot. A lot of unforced errors and a lot of added stirrup just by putting the ball there. AJ went with the old two-handed, check this guy. I didn't know he had this. And
yeah, I think he thought Irina's out of position a little bit. Wanted to try to instigate a hand battle between him and her. She swings back. He's able to get down on it. Nice dig here by Riley. Closer to getting the point to neutral right on this
straight down.
Said, hey.
What in the heck? Pace was taken off on the ball. Do not go directly down. All right, same thing.
Okay, kind of back to neutral here.
And that ball there. This ball is screaming to be punished. But you know why? She's got her bro in front of her, and she's like, I don't know. But hey, she waited, chose the right ball, and now she's fired up.
Yeah, she was obviously going to be a little bit more selective on threading the needle, knowing that Riley's in front of her. But yeah, I think she had a two-hander there. In hindsight, she probably could have turned on that one. But, if you don't see it coming in time, you can always dink it back. I'd rather see that than speeding up at those ill-advised moments,
Right, for sure. This point was crazy.
But I think one of the themes in this point happened a couple of different times. That one and a shot earlier where, with that pancake from Lindsey Newman, hitting straight down on the ball actually isn't that effective when your opponents are back. Being able to push out a little bit more is more effective. Like you mentioned, Tyson, all the strength and the weight of that shot gets taken out of the bounce, and then it actually becomes a relatively easy ball that sits up for your opponents. So just because you have a high ball doesn't mean you want to hit straight down. Sometimes pushing outward a little bit will get more depth on that shot and take their preparation time to play defense.